guess what? It's done. Mostly. It's mostly done. I do still have to do her name, and for that I still need to decide on a color. So I do need to go through my scrap box and see what colors I have. I am specifically talking about leftovers from this, because that uses the exact same colors and yarn as this did. So I was thinking of doing a yellow or maybe one of the blues. There's a couple there to choose from. But I am going to sit on this at least for tonight because I asked you in my last video what color you thought I should do, and I'm going to give you a little bit of time to answer that before I get started on it. So maybe I will actually be able to start Garfield tonight. So for tonight, I am done stitching on this, but once I do decide on a color and put in her name, then I just need to cut it out and sew it together. And I do think I have decided I'm going to do some kind of finishing stitch around the edge as well, just like a blanket stitch or a whip stitch. Shouldn't take very long. And I'll need to choose a color for that as well, but it's probably just going to be either the red or the green. Probably the red, because I feel like this line is just really insubstantial and it probably could use a little bit more of an outline. And then the other thing that I need to do tonight, hopefully tonight, is go through my patchwork fabric that I spent the whole first Vlogmas packing away to get out of my hair because I didn't think I was going to be needing it because I wasn't planning on doing any patchwork. But I need it for this lining. I'm going to need it for the backing on my Toby ornament and the Garfield one, assuming I finish that because I haven't even started it yet. And I do have several good Christmassy red and green cottons in there. So I'm going to have to dig that back out and go through that to see if I can find some good coordinating fabric for this. But first, I think it's time for today's advent, which is, where are you? Ornament number 10. Do you think it's a tree? I think it's going to be a tree. It is a tree, and it says ho, ho, ho. It is a foam tree. I mean, maybe it'll be fun to put together. I'm just not so much a fan of the foam ones, although they are better than the cardboard ones. But, you know, generally the more things you can stick on it, the more fun it is. Still, I'm not a fan. You know what I should do? Maybe I should skip the ho 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 and dig out all of the gems I've been saving and put the gems on this? Maybe? I'd be a lot more tempted to do that if it was felt. The foam, it's not something I'm going to want to put out every year. It kind of just feels like a waste. I don't know. I might not actually put that one together. I'm going to think on it. I'm just, you know, getting less and less impressed by these. They should be getting better, but I don't think they are. I don't want a foam tree that says ho, ho, ho. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't think I'm going to bother. I might use the pieces for something else. I don't like it. Okay. That's a bummer. What's next? All right. This is my scrap box. This has, oh yes, it has chunky yarn. Oops. And novelty yarn. And there we go. Right down there on the bottom. Lots and lots of leftover crewel yarn from kits. Yes, this one's all Persian wool. This is from that kit. So, we've got yellow. And yeah, there's oops, is that 3 strands? So yeah, we've got a full strand of yellow. We've got orange. No, that one's not the orange. Orange. The colors on my screen are not the same as real life. Light blue, medium blue, dark blue. So yes, these are all the leftovers from my Merry Christmas kit. And yeah, I've got, I mean, look at all these. These are all leftovers from kits. Like, isn't that insane? Like, I've never had a problem of a kit running out of yarn unless I did it differently than the kit said. Anyway, let me separate these so I can see how they look on that. Okay, I think these are my top 3 contenders out of that, because otherwise I would just be using one of these leftover colors. So we've got, this was the medium blue, which looks way darker here than in real life. Can I get better light? Not really. But yeah, it's not particularly Christmassy. We've got the yellow, which I think might be the, yeah. See, the yellow looks really good, but is it too close to that? I might have to separate it to one strand so I can see, because it's going to be that thin. And that's also why I was considering the orange, but yeah, that doesn't quite look, I don't like that. All right, let's check out the single strand of yellow. Can we see it? Is that enough contrast? I've been complaining about contrast on those puzzles all month long, so I'd hate to do something that had no contrast. Yeah, I think that'll be nice. Yeah? Yeah. Sorry, I can't play this for you. While I was waiting for the opportunity to get to my fabric, I did in fact get started on Garfield. Okay. We got not those. I think something from over here. Ooh. So I like that one. Too dark. Ooh, is there enough? There's not enough of that one. Would be cute. Those are my regular calicos. We're gonna save those. I think first one's probably the winner. No, wait, I forgot about the plaids. I have a ton of plaid. Nah, that one's good. Stripes. More hearts. Hey, wait a second. I got 2 of these. They should be together. All right, we're gonna do one of those. All right, I have a lot of stitching that I need to get done tonight, so I am brewing some coffee, half calf, but still brewing some coffee. And while I wait for it to finish, I'm gonna go ahead and do my Advent real quick. And then I just gotta get to stitching because I really need to get this in the mail on my way to work tomorrow, because the post office will be closed when I get off. And if I don't get it in the mail tomorrow, there's no chance of it arriving in time. If I get it in the mail tomorrow, maybe it could get there. So I gotta buckle in. Advent number 10 is a deer. Yes? Yes. I like that they added a design to it. I don't know if it's going to be fun to put together. We'll have to find out. Okay, this one was really hard, but in a decent way. It still had a lot of false fits, but I didn't hate it because, I don't know, it's interesting enough, I guess. It's cute. And this makes all the difference, having the extra design. Because it's all just two color, that's what made it extra hard. But this one's okay. Easy part's done, and that didn't take long. I had just held one of these up to the lamp with this over and traced the edge of this, but because this doesn't get turned, it doesn't really, nothing happens to the seam allowance, it's just tucking in there. I actually went inside my line a bit, especially at the toe, because it really doesn't need that much definition. Actually, I probably should have cut straight up here, but I wasn't paying attention. And just pinked around it. And, you know, I just used a straight stitch. They're not the tiniest of stitches. It doesn't need to be much. It just needs to be in there. Although, now I'm kind of wishing, and maybe I'll still try, depending on how long this takes. I had the thought last night of embroidering on the inside, Love Aunt Lindsay, and the year. And because I was in time crunch, I went ahead and sewed this first. So I don't know if I'd be able to embroider that after the fact. But I think it's going to depend on how long this takes, because I do need to, it's kind of hard to pin together because it's so thick. And I'm also stitching around the outside edge of it too. This part is not fun. So I double checked the instructions, and it does call for ironing the sides in, clipping the corners as you go. So yeah, scary. And putting them together, tucking it in, and whip stitching it. So I don't know how this is going to go, but it's going to be really fiddly and not fun. But at least I won't have to worry about turning it. So, yeesh. This really is not working at all how I imagined it. The whip stitch is totally ugly, as I thought it would be, but actually it's more ugly than I thought it would be. And this, because this didn't get put, because this wasn't sewn right sides together, I couldn't just sew the top edges of the lining to it and then flip it all. I have to, you know, whip or slip stitch that as well. So I need to cover all of these edges. I think what I'm going to do, at first I thought I would whip stitch some red or white or green to cover that, but it's going to be kind of hard to get in there with, well, it's not going to cover. What I think I'm going to do is couch a piece. So I'm going to take a piece of red, lay it on, and then whip stitch white around it so it kind of looks like a candy cane. And then when I get up here, I'll probably just do the white, and except for these like really awkward edges, maybe a whip stitch will be enough there. I could slip stitch it and then it won't be as obvious. Might try that. I'm glad I found some clips, because this definitely can't take pins. So, not out of it yet. Not my best work. Oh, that N is really short too. I would have preferred to sign it Aunt Lindsay, but that's what I'm working with. So that's what it gets. Next time, sign it before you sew it together. Okay, y'all, it is done. And I will get some close-up footage of it since I am sending it away. It was a lot more work than I would have liked, at least on a time crunch. And there are some things I might have done differently. It's a little janky in some spots, but you know, it's just an ornament. So the lining, definitely the right call, although it was a challenge, and it's a good thing you can't put your foot in there because it's a little wonky. Because I can't actually put my fingers down far enough to lie it flat. But also I think the front and the back kind of ended up a little bit askew from each other. That might be the way that I stitched, if I didn't stitch precisely to the edges, but then I sewed those lines together anyway. Also really the right call to couch this thread on there. Now I could have used a third strand. I've got 2 strands of red going around with 1 strand of white to give it the candy cane effect. So it's just, you know, a whip stitch that actually works. Could have used a third strand, but I didn't really have one long enough, and couching is kind of awkward to start and stop new threads, and I just didn't have time for that. Also really wish I had put in my signature before I sewed it together, but at least it's in there. Kinda. Doesn't have the year, but that's okay. Yeah. So now I have to, quick as I can, finish up this video, and then I got to get this in the mail, and I need to find and write a card as well, and then I can move on to something else. So anyway, now it is kind of funny too, for all the work involved, that it kind of cheaped out on the hanger. Now this is what was included to use for the hanger. I wanted to braid it, but then I realized, because of all of the stuff that I have going on in these corners, like it's really thick up here because of the way they curved these corners, just really wasn't helpful. So there's a lot of fabric tucked in there. So there was no way that I was going to then also get a braid in there, especially since I was going to have to tie a knot in one end of it just to create the braid. But that's easily replaced at any point in the future. It just needs a different thing strung through it. So anyway, I'm really pleased with that, and I am really excited to move on to something else. But I've only got 2 Vlogmas episodes left, so that's 4 days. And I have so much to do in those 4 days, and I do not have enough time for that. But I'm going to have to talk about that tomorrow, because I got to get to work putting this video up for you. Otherwise it's going to be a whole day late or something. So, yeah. Oh, it's cute. I'm going to stop playing with this. I got work to do. I'll see you next time. Bye. Thank you.